Once upon a time, there was a little feather, not just any feather, mind you, but one plucked from the wing of a great bird soaring high above the forest. This little feather dreamed of adventure. It wanted to see the world beyond the trees, to feel the wind beneath its wings, or at least beneath its stem. It longed for freedom, for a journey of its own. One day, while the big bird was fast asleep, nestled high up in its cozy nest, the little feather decided it had waited long enough. It took a deep breath, spread its delicate barbs as wide as it could, and jumped. For a moment, it hovered, teetered, then began its slow and graceful descent towards the forest floor. Down, down the little feather floated, twirling and dipping amidst the tall trees. It had no purpose, no destination, only the pure joy of floating. And when it reached you, sitting quietly beneath a tree, it landed not with a thud, not even with a whisper, but with a gentleness so light it felt more like memory than touch. At first, the forest was a blur of greens, leaves rustling in the wind, branches swaying overhead. Then the quietest sound brushed against your ear, the softest sigh caressing your cheek. It passed a resting fox curled beside a hollow log, the tip of its nose twitching in sleep, only enough to illuminate the gentle curves of your face, the soft rise and fall of your chest as you breathed. It barely brushed the surface, sending ripples that made no sound, and continued its lazy dance towards wherever evening might lead it. It floated past an owl who blinked once and then closed its eyes again, comforted by the quiet presence drifting by. It brought quiet, the quiet of a vast, open sky, the quiet of a heart at rest, the quiet of a soul that understands the language of the stars. It simply giving you the essence of the evening, the fragrance of twilight, the coolness of the coming night, the promise of dreams. Time stood still, measured only by the rising and falling of your chest, by the soft whisper of the wind through the leaves, by the distant hoot of an owl, by the rhythmic pulse of fireflies blinking in the gathering dark. It hadn't come to teach you anything. It had come to remind you of what you already knew, of the quiet strength within you, the resilience born of countless seasons, the wisdom whispered on the wind, the solace found in the smallest corner of a forest clearing. But as the sun began its journey towards the horizon, the colors shifted. It held nothing but the peace of a bird's slumber, the tranquility of a cloud drifting across the endless blue, the serenity of moonlight painting the world in silver. All you needed to do was close your eyes, let your thoughts drift like feathers on the wind, and rest. Fireflies blinked, slow patterns in the underbrush, their tiny lights echoing the stars above. In this very breath, you discover your true nature, free, wild, and wonderfully loved. But by the very essence of existence, by the rhythm of the universe, by the heartbeat of the earth. And here you'll always be held in the loving arms of existence, cradled by the stars, embraced by the moon, cherished by the whisper of the wind, waiting for you to let go, waiting for you to believe in the magic of a feather's touch, waiting for you to remember that you have always been held, always been loved, always been enough. And the little feather is here to remind you of both. Its journey was not a rush, not a flurry, but a slow, sweet surrender to the rhythm of the evening. Just surrender to the mystery, to the grand design, to the unfolding of life. Let the little feather, with its silent wisdom and gentle touch, guide you into the depths of your own being. Everything was preparing for rest, for sleep, for the peace of the night. No heavier than a star's reflection on a still pond, no more demanding than the gentle insistence of dawn. The greens deepened into shades of emerald and jade. The sky turned the color of quiet lavender, and the forest grew hushed beneath the first yawn of night. Even the wind softened its voice, and the little feather drifted peacefully down. The feather didn't fall fast. It moved like a dream, lazy, spiraling, patient. Below, the forest was winding down. Leaves had curled in. The stream murmured softly, and in that hush, the little feather let go. It glided past ferns, slipped through the bramble, and spun gently beside a glowing mushroom. At last, the feather dipped low to skim a sleeping puddle. The little feather didn't know where it was going. It didn't need to know. It was carried, held, gently offered to the world. As the sky deepened into velvet, studded with countless stars, the little feather drifted into view. You didn't move. You didn't stir. You simply felt the feather settle beside you, and for a moment, there was only stillness. It was the sound of peace, the hush of a bird's rest, the ease of a breeze, the gift of letting go. The little feather glowed with the faintest silver light, not bright enough to startle, not sharp enough to hurt. And when the feather settled on your chest, it didn't bring answers. When the feather touched you, it didn't demand anything. It asked for nothing. You didn't need to do anything. Just be, just breathe. Feel the feather's stillness settling into your chest, soft as breath, soft as the space between stars, wrapping you in the slow air of evening. No questions, no expectations, no burdens. Let the feather rest beside you. Its weight was no more than the thought of peace. And as you sat there, enveloped in the feather's embrace, the world seemed to pause, holding its breath, allowing you this moment of perfect stillness. The world was calm. You are still. The little feather had traveled far, not to bring answers, but to bring softness, not to solve mysteries, but to weave peace. And now, here it was, nestled beside you, humming with the lullaby of evening, carrying the sleep of the stars, sharing the secrets of the moon. You didn't need to understand its journey. You didn't need to know its story. Rest in the knowledge that you were held, truly held, not by a feather, not by the wind. There was nothing to hold on to, just lightness, just air, just dreams, waiting in the quiet. Don't strain, don't reach, don't try to grasp at answers. In this stillness, you find your strength. In this quiet, you hear your song. So breathe in the peace of the evening, breathe out the tensions of the day. Here you are, here you've always been. This is your sanctuary, this is your truth.